Hello everyone, it's Doc. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a few things on the agenda, and today's build is very upbeat. First of all, I want to say that I'm very sorry. Sincerely, I apologize for not checking the video once I uploaded it before I made it public, the planet.Unleash one, only because there is 6 minutes, someone said it and I checked it and it's true. There is a very long section of the video at the end after I finished the cinematics where it just shows a picture zooming in for like minutes on end, and I'm very sorry about that. It's not by any mean a very long video, but I do know some of you like to just, chill with these or make it chill in the background. And yeah, that's one thing that will not happen again. I will be checking them once I upload, because I have checked the original project on iMovie and it didn't have that problem, so I do not know what exactly made it that way once I uploaded it. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, today the most important thing on the agenda is we are finally making a capybara habitat. Now, I know everyone at the moment is making capybara habitats in the community, and I understand why. Capybaras are so darn cute, and you guys, I cannot not build for them. So I'm just using the Nile lechwa fence that we made, which looks very natural, but there's a twist to this exhibit, unlike the Nile lechwa one. It's not very classical and it's not very, very natural, because I'm building it on the backdrop of not the backdrop, but the right-hand section of the spectacled caiman indoor viewing habitat, whatever. I don't know what exactly to call it. So the right-hand section of the habitat for the spectacled caimans is for the capybara, because I thought, you know what, that's kind of, at least it gives like a natural feeling of having caimans and capybaras in the same place. I am going for more of a tropical look. That's why at the moment I'm making a little lining for the pond. I want it also to look natural and modern, and all this at the same time. It took a bit of planning and bit of brain work, I'm not gonna lie. I did not really improvise this habitat. I kind of looked at my Pinterest board of modern architecture and pool styles and private ponds and tropical homes and all of that. So one advantage we had was the fact that we've already built that house, the viewing area. So all we had to do was just build around it, in front of it. And that's what we're doing here. I'm planning to make, at the moment with this build, to make the capybaras a few corners and nooks and crannies and so many, because the exhibit itself is not huge. Now, that said, I didn't want it to look bland or uninteresting or just like one spot to look at. No, there are multiple spots with enrichment items and food at the end, and you'll see that in the cinematics. There is one spot even that has a dock. There is a spa spot just for them to shower, like hot showers, and then there is a hot tub. The inspiration for the hot tub, the inspiration credit goes to Rudy Rankamel. He's amazing at building, and I really love his channel. And the inspiration came from him for the hot tub. Only for me, I made it a bit different. Now, one tip I'll give you while I'm building this is, if you're making pools like this, some people tend to just fill the whole thing with plaster pieces so that it looks uniform and everything. You really don't have to do that. Real life zoos don't exactly do it that way. Some of them do, yes, it's just a concrete pit or like a concrete, completely concrete, pool. But a lot of real life zoos just do the outside lining with some stone, or like how we did with the plaster pieces, that kind of lining for the ponds for animals, and the rest is just normal pond lining inside. That's why in a lot of zoos you'll notice that the water kind of looks black or dirty. That's because there's no real concrete underneath. It's simply just a pond lining or a similar substrate that doesn't really let water pass through, but usually it's just pond lining. So that's what we went for here. That's why I did not fill up the whole thing with plaster pieces. Also, that takes so much time that I would probably go insane. And I do not want to. I go crazy building Pineland Zoo multiple times a day anyway. Yesterday I built, I think, for 7 hours just the backdrop of the zoo, which unfortunately is not recorded, but it was I only covered maybe like 20%, not even 20%, maybe 10% of what we're going to do at the end. we now have a hotel, and the capybara are near the beach. That's why they have a tropical theme for their entire exhibit. Had a problem with audio, so I'm just gonna tell you, yes, Pineland Zoo has a beach, and when I do the update video soon, either this week or next week, you'll see it. Stay tuned. The idea of this entire zoo, by the way, here I'm just making the tub with some European marquee pieces, the metal European pieces, and the Arctic wood pieces, which are almost never used by me, but for this case, they really worked. Now, with the beach, I was going to really reveal that later because it's not finished and it's just a backdrop for the zoo. And since the zoo is getting so large, I'm thinking of making lore for it. So I'm going to be writing up a description about it and like making a custom map and everything. But simply put, it's getting very large. So we'll now also have a hotel. And the idea of Pineland Zoo and where it's set, we're going to have a lot of explanations for it later. I don't want to cover this entire video just talking about Pineland Zoo. We will get an update. When I make an update video for you guys, I'm going to explain the lore. But long story short, the zoo is set in a parallel universe where there's a climate that is something in between the Mediterranean climate and tropical, climate. So that's kind of the setting, but I'm saying parallel universe because there's also a lot of pine trees. That's why it's called Pineland Zoo, because it is in a place with a lot of pines. Here, now let's go back to the capybara habitat. This is the three-way shower thing. That sounds really wrong. This is the three-way shower thing. We're gonna keep saying that because there's no other way to explain it. When you look from that little window section of the viewing gallery, you're just gonna be able to see them in this little tropical, secluded, spa-looking place, just taking a hot shower. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get them on camera for the cinematics to shower there, but they do it. I promise you, I've seen it happen. I just didn't catch it on camera for the cinematics. For the cinematics, they've only used the hot tub that is kind of made like an infinity pool, the one hot tub we have that we just built. Here, I'm adding, for realism, just some, pipes. I like the European metal pieces only because they're so shiny and the texture is amazing, and it really looks like it carries hot water. I don't know why I think that directly, but just a childhood memory I have of being in my grandma's house, and she had this one outside shower at one point for her animals, and it did have hot water running because she would use that in winter, and this water basically came from a just like a round shiny metal beam, and that's why I use those metal beams. Here, the famous mud wall works perfectly every time you want to make height differences because it just gives it a very nice look. And here I'm just doing some rock work. I've seen some, people asking for advice from me for how to, get started with building and rocks, and for all building items in the game, I'm going to say the same thing. If you're really, really struggling, because yes, this game can be overwhelming, especially with the type of things people build. But remind you, most people in the community who build crazy things, they've played this game for over 1,000 hours. So it's a lot of practice. I started playing this in 2020. So, I've had a lot of time to practice, and I had time to adjust to new updates and new changes and the new tools and everything. If you haven't, what I would suggest is to start simple. Start using the terrain tool. Here I'm just giving a really nice color to the water. I love this color. If you guys want, I can put in the color code, or if you want anything from Pineland Zoo, including custom fencing, just comment it down below. I'll happily put it in the workshop as a single piece by itself. That includes buildings, at least the buildings that I can put as those pieces. But if you want anything from this zoo, let me know in the comments down below. I'll put it in the workshop and just give you the link. Anyway, here we're building a backstage area because I didn't want it to be close to the guests. The guests enter from another place. They enter so you go up to the platypus area. The platypus are to the left, and there's an intersection of the bridge, and then from the bridge you can take the right hand side and they can go down, And there's first the caimans, and then you go into the building, and then you can see the capybara. So they're kind of hidden in the zoo. There is only 2 viewing areas for the capybara. Copy? Yeah. Anyway, the advice that I'm going to give you is you can just download things on the workshop and take them apart and try to put them back together. That's the best piece of advice that I can give when it comes to buildings. Because including the rock work or pieces, you know, you can just play around with them and put things to their places. Just turn off align to surface and you're going to have a much easier time so that they don't plop up to the base of the ground. Here I'm just making the secluded spa area. And we will be adding a dock in front of that big window. But you'll see that in a second. I'm just adding some foliage. Back to our advice. I would just say even habitats. Let's say you want to make like a really nice habitat, but you don't know how to get started because the tools and the game is just too overwhelming. Download one and then make a new section in your zoo right next to it and try to replicate the same things or take it apart and put everything back together with buildings. You know, that's really going to help you in the long run for practice. Then you don't have to start everything by creativity because that can really be overwhelming. Especially some of us who have, you know, uni or jobs. You can't really just sit down and wait for an idea to come for hours on end. Many people can't do that because this game does have a, you know, more mature audience. Just download things from the workshop, pull them apart, put them back together, and at some point you're going to be replicating the same things or making very similar high detail buildings or builds without even noticing it. Here I'm just adding, oh, there's a huge bee in my room, but we're gonna keep the voiceover intact. It's gone now. And here I'm just building the shelter. It does not have a door yet. We'll add that later. I'm just adding some ivy so you can't really see it, and it's almost done actually. I'm just going to let you now watch the rest of this video. Also guys, thank you so much for all of your support so far, and it has just been an amazing ride lately. Just putting videos out here, sharing this creativity, and I'm so happy when some of you comment, yeah, I tried this trick that you did in your video and it worked, or this inspired me or whatever. Like, I'm so happy to share this passion with so many of you, and I really hope to continue this every day. And yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much again. If you like this video, and if you wish so, you can always like it and give me feedback and comment. But only if you wish so. No pressure on it whatsoever. I will leave you with the rest of the video now, and the cinematics are coming very soon. I wish you an amazing day or amazing night or whatever. Bye for now.